Didn't play yesterday. There's coming up with questions is difficult, but we'll come up with them.
Yeah, I wonder what the hell we're going to do out here. I think we had the right formula last week. Though we went out and got some reps with our ones versus ones to try to keep some reps at game speed. That's the closest that we can get. And then we got a lot of work with our one offense going against our one defense using the no-huddle offense. We were getting the ball snapped 25, 28 seconds left on the 40-second clock. That's about as fast as you can go. And that was a lot of good work for our offense and our defense. And then we got a lot of good work last week with our number one offense and defense going against the scout simulating Marshall's offense and defensive scheme. So I think our staff got ahead last week in their preparation for Marshall, and our team got ahead last week in their preparation for Marshall. And at the same time, we were able to cut back enough to get our players fresh. Even though we practiced some early in the week, we didn't practice that long. And then they actually had 3 or 4 days off from football to get themselves refreshed and recommitted, all at one time, and it gave our coaches the chance to go on the road a little bit towards the end of the week and get caught up recruiting wise, and then back at it today. So we got a lot done last week, and then obviously there's some areas of our football team we'll have to play better at. We're still developing on the offensive line, and that can really be important to us because our quarterback can play better. That's going to be very important to us. And then obviously I think the ball is going to, from a defensive standpoint, we'll see the ball get out on the perimeter a little bit more. You saw that in the last game. People may at times shy away from running right at the defense of our front seven, so you can see the ball maybe getting out on the perimeter or something. So we're going to have to play a better defense out on the perimeter. So a lot of focus will go towards that, and that's a lot what Marshall does in a lot of ways. So a lot of things to work on, but the open week came at a good time, and I think our team will be ready to go.
Just from a, health standpoint, Ryan Russell was banged up. Don't know how much he got last week, but is he a situation where he goes today and some other guy, everybody else pretty much healthy going into this week?
Ryan didn't get any last week, and he may be limited today. We'll see once we get him warmed up and get him moving around. And then Normando Harris played a lot in the last ball game, and he has struggled, coming off of a knee injury that he sustained during the summer workouts, and then missed a lot of camp. And then really the game the other day against Eastern Michigan was the most he's played and the best he's played on special teams and from a defensive standpoint. And so he was limited a little bit last week, sore, and set him back some. So I think everybody's going to be good to go. We'll have to see today how Ryan Russell's moving and how Normando Harris is moving today.
When you talk about playing against an offense that likes to snap the ball so quickly, you guys want to do a lot of substitutions on defense. Are you still able to do that? I can't remember the college rules exactly on that.
Well, it becomes more of a challenge, and that's one of the reasons why some teams prefer that style of offensive play. And when we utilize it as well at times, our hurry-up offense, and sometimes just to keep certain defensive personnel on the field. But again, we'll have to have a plan to try to rotate our guys in some. That's one of our keys to success, has been having a lot of fresh bodies to put on the field. So we'll have several different plans that will allow us to try to get some guys on the field and keep some fresh bodies on the field. But that's going to be important, absolutely.
So if the offense substitutes, then you can bring someone in? Because I know in the NFL, you basically got to give the defense a chance kind of to bring somebody in if you change. But if they don't change their personnel at all, you're just trying to get guys in between, right?
Absolutely. And then if they change personnel, then you have a chance to change personnel as well. But there's some other ways that we can manufacture some ways to keep our players fresh. Practicing against it is really important, and we do a good job with that type of offense. Our offense does. So I think we can give our defense a good look throughout the course of the week. And then we're going to have to execute better on offense. We're doing very well at some things, and statistically, our football team, we rate high in a lot of different categories, but we're going to have to execute better on offense. We're going to need to score more points, not just weekend, but throughout the course of the season. And then by executing a little bit better on offense, we'll create some opportunities to get our defense off the field. So, a lot of work to be done, and certainly some areas for improvement, but a lot of good things so far. A lot of good things.
With the type of offense that Marshall runs, and with the extra week of preparation, as you look back, will this be a good thing for this team to have the extra time to look at what they do?
I think so. Not only from just coming more familiar with what they do, but also a chance to train for that. To go against their hyper-speed offense, the amount of reps that you may want to get, and to be a fresh football team too. If you were coming off of a certain part of the season, you were weary, and then you had to get ready for that style of offense and play against that style of offense. It could create some problems for you. We've been very successful in the past. Our defense has, against some of the hyper-speed offenses, line it up and execute, and I think we'll do well this Saturday. But I think the open week came at a good time. Anytime you can get fresh and healthy, that's a good thing for your football team.
How's Mark looking, just progress-wise on this secondary?
Well, it's hard to tell because he doesn't get many team reps, but just to watch him, pitch and catch and drop back and throw the football, really impressed with him. He's always had great talent, as far as passing football goes, but seems to be light on his feet and has some confidence, and doesn't seem to be affected all that much by it. Now, we haven't asked him to run and avoid the rush and those type of things, but right from the very beginning, ever since he's had the third ACL injury, I've really been impressed with the way that he's bounced back and came back the day after the game and started taking snaps out there and in practice. So he looks pretty good to me, but only time will tell.
Is this going to be just like a week-to-week thing with him, or could it be a situation where you may not know till the day of the game if he's ready to go?
Well, I hope we don't have to find out like that. That's a little unsettling in some ways. You have to wait till the day of the game, but obviously our focus right now has to get Caleb playing like he's capable of playing. He was really performing his position very well, and then had the setback to missing the first game, then was sick for the third game. So getting him hitting on all cylinders and getting Rob Henry caught up will be the focal point of our quarterback preparation. But it'll be up to Robert, how he feels, and we'll see how he does in practice. We do anticipate a comeback.
What does Caleb need to do better?
Well, he didn't perform as well in a couple of times in two of the ball games as he has in practice at times. And sometimes he performed very well in the ball games, in the opening ball game, or the ball game against Notre Dame, his opening ball game. He's fine quarterback stat-wise early in the ball game and did exactly what we wanted him to do, manage the offense and keep our offense on the field. But we had a couple of drops, he has a couple more interceptions than what we would like, and he got behind a little bit game experience-wise, not being available for the first game. So he needs to just get back to where he was at when coming out of camp, because he was really practicing well and really looked sure and confident, and looked like he was really on the cutting edge of playing his position. A real accomplished, confident quarterback. Get back to playing at that level, and I think he will. He showed some great signs last week.
How's Mike Lee doing?
Mike's doing good. Obviously he's not playing or practicing football.
Right.
We have he and Jordan Shine are both involved. They're still part of our team, and then they're involved in some support staff services. As student assistants, but he's doing very well. Did he have multiple concussions?
I know in the spring he never recovered for that. Had he had a history of that, as far as you know?
Well, I have to check with the trainer exactly how many concussions he's had, or whether they're just concussion symptoms, or how
Right.
far it dates back.
Right. Is that a tough decision when you need to sit down with an athlete and say, I don't know if you're going to be able to play again?
It's not a tough decision when it gets to that point. When it starts getting to the point to where safety is a concern. Then it's a very easy decision. It's just tough for the student athlete. And obviously there's a lot more emphasis on concussion management, concussion awareness, and maybe years ago a guy like Mike, his playing time might have been extended some, but he had reoccurring symptoms and failed the physical, and everyone's doing what we think is best.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, we're going to be out